Alright, so in this video we're going to show you how to get the NFS G1000 up and running using XPlane 11. Now there's a couple extra small steps you need to do to get the graphical bezels to be removed in XPlane 11, but it's not too bad and we'll walk you through it. So the first thing to do is to install our middleware program called SimControl. This will be sent to you in an email, and after you download and extract it, it's just a simple regular Windows setup. So we'll show you that here. You can put the installation anywhere you want, but by default it's going to go in the C root directory. And then when SimControl is installed, the first time you run it, you're going to get a message saying that you don't have the configuration file loaded. So you're going to select OK. You're going to need to open the correct configuration file for XPlane. So where you find that is, again, in the C root directory where you installed the file, Noble Flight Simulation, SimControl, NFS, and then you're going to want to get the one for XPlane 11. You're going to open that, and it's going to load in here. So that's the correct file, configuration file for XPlane. So the next thing is to install the hardware drivers. So make sure that the USB cable for the NFS G1000 is plugged in. You don't need to worry about the video screens as of this for this step. All you need to have plugged in right now is the USB cable. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Noble Flight Simulation folder in the C directory. We're going to open up the SimControl folder, then the Utilities folder, the USB Tools folder, and there's an application in here called USB Driver Tool. You're going to run that application, and you're going to get a list of all the different USB devices that are connected to your computer. Now, assuming your hardware is plugged in, you will find one that says 16C00486 interface 00. It's very important to choose the one that says interface 00 because there's another one here with the exact same numbers but a different interface, 01. This is not the one that you need. So when you find the one with the correct interface, 00, and the vendor and device IDs, you're going to right click on it and you're going to install WinUSB. Now in order for this step to work, you need to be connected to the internet. If you are not connected to the internet, you're going to get an error saying that you can't get a timestamp. So once everything's installed correctly, you're going to see in parentheses next to your device WinUSB. So that's all that needs to be done to install the driver. So that part is done. So if you go back into SimControl, now by default SimControl starts minimized. So you will see that the hardware connection should be the hardware connection status should be connected, and you should see that it is looking for XPlane specifically. Now to test your hardware, just to make sure everything is working appropriately, if you hit the enable logging, if you turn some buttons or turn some knobs or push some buttons, you should see activity registering in the event log. Alright, so you can close SimControl for now. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get XPlane ready to remove the graphical bezel. So if we go into the folder here, we're going to go into the XPlane, and in my computer it's on the D drive, but yours could be on the C drive or another accessory drive. You're going to go into XPlane 11. You're going to go into Aircraft. Now, assuming you're using the standard XPlane Cessna 172 with the G1000, you're going to do that. If you're using another one, you would just do these same steps for whichever aircraft that you are wanting to use. So, Cessna 172. Now, in this folder, we're going to create another folder that we're going to name Cockpit. And then inside that cockpit folder, you're going to create another folder named EFIS. And then yet another folder inside the EFIS that you're going to name G1000. Okay, so going back through that, within the aircraft that you are modifying, you're going to create a cockpit folder, an EFIS folder, and then a G1000 folder. Okay, so then if you go back to the XPlane 11 root folder, you're going to find a folder called Resources. So open that, and then you're going to find bitmaps. And then you're going to look for cockpit, EFIS, G1000, and you should see these 6 files in here. Now you want to copy the one that says MFD 2D, and then a control select for the PFD also. And then you're going to copy these, and then you're going to go back to the folder that we just created. So to get there again, within the XPlane, you're going to go into Aircraft, Laminar, Cessna 172, Cockpit, EFIS, G1000. So this is in the folder that we made in the previous step, and you're going to paste those two files into here. Now to modify those files, you're going to right-click, Open With, and select Paint. And it's going to open in Paint. You're going to want to resize, select Pixels, and you're going to want to resize this to be a 1 by 1 pixel. And you're going to save it. Then when that is done, do the same thing for the second file. Open With, Paint, resize, 1 by 1 pixel, and save. Now, after you've done that, you can go ahead and load XPlane. You want to always start sim control after XPlane starts. Now, unfortunately, with this screen capture software, I cannot show you within XPlane for whatever reason. However, what you're going to see when you select the aircraft that has the panel that you modified, when you start that flight, you should by default start on the 3D cockpit view. If you click anywhere within the MFD or the PFD on that view, it should pop out the graphic for the MFD or the PFD, and the graphical bezel should have been removed. So you can take that image and you can drag it down to the MFD or the PFD on the NFS G1000, because those screens are essentially acting as an external monitor, or I'm sorry, an additional monitor within Windows. So if you have any questions or any difficulty with that, feel free to contact us, and hopefully this tutorial was helpful.